Hi friends, it's Mrs. Kearney. I'm back with our book, Growing Frogs. I hope you liked it the first time. We're gonna do some more with it today, okay? Growing Frogs by Vivian French and illustrated by Allison Bartlett. Once, when I was little, my mom read me a story about a frog that grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Afterward, Mom asked me if I'd like to watch some real frogs growing. I know where there's a pond with lots of frog eggs in it, she said. We could bring some home. I was frightened. I didn't want big frogs jumping around getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I said. But Mom gave me a hug. It's only a story, she said. Even when our frogs are grown up, they'll still be smaller than my hand. Oh, I said, okay. Does anyone remember where they're going to go now? Let's see, I think they might be going to get those frog eggs at the pond. The next day we went to look at the pond. The water was dark brown and there was gray jelly stuff floating on the top. Oh, yuck, I said. There's the frog egg, said Mom, and she pointed to the gray jelly stuff. So you remember what we saw in the pond here too? We saw the plants in the pond and the ducks, and we know that there are frogs. And the mom said, I thought there'd be frog eggs here because I've heard those frogs croaking at night. They can get noisy. And do you remember I said last time we can hear them? I wonder if any of you guys can hear them. You see the black dot in the middle of each jelly shell, said Mom? That's going to grow into a tadpole. So here they are. They're just little black dots right now, those tadpoles. And I have a picture. We're going to do sequencing after. So here's my picture of the frog eggs. So here they are as frog eggs. Where are the frogs, I asked. Tadpoles grow into frogs, she said. Little ones. No giant frogs here. Mom put some pondweed and some stones into a bag. She filled the bucket with pond water. Then I scooped a little of the frog eggs into it. So do you remember what we said they needed? They got pond water, tadpole egg, frog eggs, pondweed, and some stones. And do you remember where she brought that stuff back to? Colleen, do you remember?
Her tank the fish tank.
Yes, she brought it back to her house and put it in a tank. So let's see her set it all up. When we got home, we put everything into a big fish tank in the kitchen. The cat kept peering at it, so we had to put a wire net over the top. I think they didn't want the cat catching those frog eggs, so they put something so he could watch, but couldn't get at them. So here it is. So we've got the pondweed and the rocks and the frog eggs. And then this is all the pond water they got from the pond. I counted 27 little black dots. Each dot was inside its own jelly shell. So here they are, those black dots with their own little circle inside the jelly shell. So there's still the frog eggs here. Every day when I woke up, I went straight downstairs to look at the frog eggs. The little dots grew into bigger dots and then into tiny curls. And one morning I saw the first tadpole wriggling out of its jelly shell. So mine are green and these are black, but this is, so it started off as the frog egg and then hatched into the tadpole. It is. That's not upside down. Then hatched into a tadpole. Which one are you saying is upside down?
This one, it was like this.
Oh, it was wrong. At first, the tadpoles didn't do much. They just stayed close to their jelly shells and nibbled at the pondweed. But after 2 or 3 days, they looked quite different. There were feathery things on their heads, and I could see their eyes. So the feathering things feathery things, I don't know if you remember I said were gills. That's how they breathe when they're a tadpole and they're only living in the pond. They swim very fast. So first they wanted to hang around the jelly egg, and now they're swimming all around that tank fast. 10 of the eggs didn't ever hatch. The black dots went dull and cloudy, and Mom took them away. Then we cleaned out the tank and put in fresh pondweed and pond water. One of the tadpoles swam into my hand when I was putting a stone back. It was slippery and slithery, and it made me jump. Can you see she put them all in here? Well, she changes this and puts new pond water in. After a while, I got used to having tadpoles, and I didn't look at them so often. When Mom told me their feathery things had disappeared, I didn't believe her. But it was true. So here they are. Those feathery things are gone. And they're about to start changing fast. I was the one who saw the next change, though. Look, I shouted, and Mom rushed to see. Some of the tadpoles had grown 2 little bumps. Mom said the bumps would grow into... Do you remember what those bumps grew into? Colleen?
Their back legs.
Their back legs. Let's see a picture. So here they are. Here there's no bump. And here they're starting to grow little bumps. They grew very quickly. One day there were 2 bumps. The next day the bumps were stumps. So that means they were bigger. The day after that, they looked like real legs. And when the feet unfolded, they were webbed like tiny brownish green fans. And frogs use those so they can swim. They aren't tadpoles anymore, I said. They're not quite frogs. So here's a picture. This one would be right around here. Yeah, actually all of them. So here's our tadpole. Oh no, that's going to be on the next page actually. So here's our tadpole. On this page, they've grown the back legs. Still have their tails. The not quite frogs grew front legs next. So here they are with their front legs. And their tails got shorter and shorter. And their mouths got wider. They were tiny, eating little things in the pond water before, but now they have to get wider so they can open that mouth up and catch flies. Now they're frogs, Mom said. Baby ones. So here's our baby frog. Soon the baby frogs were popping up and gulping at the surface of the water. One of them tried to climb onto the stones, but it slid off. Mom said they were getting ready to leave the water. Grown-up frogs breathe air, she said. That's what the stones are for, so our frogs can climb out of the water and breathe. So before, they could breathe under the water. Now when they're frogs, they have to come up out of the water and breathe the air. Not long after that, Mom said it was time to take our baby frogs back to live in the pond with all the other baby frogs. I was sorry to leave them, but Mom said we could come back and visit every day. So it says down here, baby frogs need space to grow and room to hop around. Grown-up frogs live most of their lives on land, going back to the pond once in a while. So they can't really, in her little tank, hop around very much. So that's why they return them. They could have all the room they needed in the pond and be able to easily get up and breathe. One rainy morning a week later, Mom woke me up very early. Hurry, she said, and we ran downstairs and out to the pond. There were hundreds of tiny frogs hopping over the grass. They're looking for dark, wet places to live, Mom said. But they won't go far. In a couple of years, they'll be back to lay frog eggs of their own. Will they be bigger than I asked? Just a little, said Mom. Good, I said. I like having frogs jumping around, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The end. So we learned some more about those frogs today. And I want to talk about, we're going to sequence them. And remember, sequencing means to put things in order, okay? So I'm going to put the pictures here. So let's see what we have. First we have a frog. This one's the frog eggs. This one is starting to be a baby frog. He has his back legs and he has his front legs. And his tail's pretty long still. Can you scoot back up? And here he is when he's a tadpole, just hatched out of the egg. Okay, so what I want you to do, friends, is I want you to look here. We're gonna put them in the order they go, from how they start and how they ended a frog, okay? So I want you to look here and try to think of which one goes first. I'm gonna let you think, and then I'm gonna have Colleen take the one she thinks goes first and put it in our first spot up here, okay? All right, Colleen. You don't have to take that off. You can just stick it all right up there. So you think what? What's this one?
The frog egg.
The frog eggs. The frog eggs go first. Good job. All right, friends, can you look at these for me? We have the frog, we'll call him baby frog. Can you scoot back so they can see? The baby frog and the tadpole. Which one do you think goes next, friends? Colleen? What's that one called?
The tadpoles.
The tadpole. It hatches out and it's a tadpole. So first we have the frog eggs, then the tadpole. Oh, let me ask my friends at home first. I was gonna have you say it. All right, friends, which one comes next? The frog or the baby frog who has his back legs and front legs and the tail? What do you think, Colleen?
The baby frog.
The baby frog. Honey, just put it on there, doesn't it? All right. So first is the frog eggs. Then it's a tadpole. Don't do that, Colleen. Then it's a baby frog. Colleen, what happens? What? Wait. What happens last, friends? Colleen.
The frog.
Yeah. And it's a frog. All right, so I am going to let Colleen, you guys usually get to pick out your pointer, right? I'm going to let Colleen take this. Can you see this, Mall, if she needs to back up? You just need to back up a little bit so they can still see. Colleen, can you tell us the story of this frog, starting as a tadpole and turning into a frog?
First, the baby frog eggs are born. Then they hatch and grow into tadpoles. Then they become baby frogs, and then they become adult frog.
Good job. All right, friends, so here we are. I forgot to put one here, and these are our sparkly story words in between that I forgot to talk about. So first they're frog eggs, then it's a tadpole, then it's a baby frog, and last it's a frog. Gonna do it one more time, okay? This time I'm gonna point and I want you to say that part of the story, and then I'll move on. So I'm gonna pause for you to say it, and then I'll say it, okay? So first, it's frog eggs. Then it's a tadpole. Then it's a baby frog. And last, it's a frog. Good job, friends. I hope you tried that at home. I love it when you get to be the teachers and get to tell us the stories. Good job. Okay, now I want to do a quick back up to this wall here. When we talk about our characters and our setting, And do you remember I forgot it. We don't have a whiteboard marker in here, do we, girls?
No.
It's okay. Friends, do you remember? Sorry, I forgot the whiteboard marker. We say the characters are the people and animals in the story. And then we have our stick figure person to help us with that. So the characters are the people and animals in the story. So in our book, Growing Frogs, can you think of who a character was? Colleen, who was a character in this story?
The little girl.
The little girl. Are you on the book? Yeah, be on the book so they can see the book. The little girl was a character, right? She was the main character. The story was mostly about her. Good job. Who was someone else in this story? If you know it, awesome. If you need a little help, we can take a look in the book. This page tells us all. So here we are, friends. So the girl was a character. Her mom or mother was a character. And the frogs were characters in this story. It was all about a frog. Good job. So the characters were the girl, her mom, and the frogs. If you guys thought of any of those, great job. The next thing I want to talk about is the setting. And do you remember we talk about the setting is? Setting is where the story takes place. This was definitely the springtime, we know, because the frogs come out in the spring. But what was the setting of the story? Where did this story happen? I think there's two settings to this one. Colleen, what do you think?
In their house and at the frog pond.
Yeah, at the girl's house and at the frog pond. Good job. All right, I'm going to ask a couple more WH questions about this. Colleen. So friends, I'm going to ask you first, and I'd love you to say the answer, think of the answer and yell out the answer, and then Colleen's going to help us answer it, okay? So, Colleen, I have my WH question for you is, where did the girl get the frog eggs from? Hold on one second. So where did the girl get the frog eggs from?
The frog pond.
The pond. Good job. She went down to the frog pond to get the eggs. Good job. All right, here's another one, friends. Who helped the girl with the eggs and the frogs? Who helped the girl?
Her mother.
Her mom did. Good job. Very, very nice. I think we'll do that. How long is into that one?
18.
Okay, so we're going to do one more thing.
And my battery's dying.
Okay. Lots going wrong. Okay, friends. This is, we did the sequencing, we did the direction following. What I didn't tell you is when you sequence this, in the newsletter I sent to your grown-up, you have this in here. It's these, just not colored. So I would love you, if you have a printer and it's easy to print them out and color them. Put them in the right order, and then be the teacher and tell the story or this sequence to your grown-up. If you do not have a printer, that is totally fine. You can see these pictures on your grown-up's phone or computer, and you can draw them for me, which would be awesome. So you can draw a picture of the frog eggs and the tadpole and the baby frog and the frog and do them in the right sequence, and then tell that sequence to your grown-up. And I would love you to send me pictures or videos of you doing that so I can say, wow, nice job. So you have this, which is just like this in your newsletter. And then you also have this. You're going to keep that frog, and then you have this and this. You only really need one of these. You can use both. But again, you can print it out, but if you don't want to do that or you can't do that, you can absolutely just draw this too. We're going to do some direction following with these. These are called lily pads, and actually my kids were sitting on lily pads earlier because we knew we were doing frogs from a game. You want to show them, Colleen? It's what frogs sit on a lot in a pond. Turtles sometimes do too. So we just had lily pad things from a game. So here's our lily pad. Here's our log. And then we're going to use, whoop, that's okay, this frog, okay? So I'm gonna put this up here. And we're gonna follow directions with these pictures, okay? How close is your phone to dying, Molly?
I'm not sure. It's 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Oh. Oh, I see what you mean. All right, patient friends, here we go. So you can put these in any order, friends, but it's going to be a direction following. If you can give your, well, you can do it one of two ways or both ways. You can have your grown-up give you directions, or you can be the teacher and give your grown-up directions. I'm going to give Colleen directions for now, okay? So Colleen, I would like you to put the log between the lily pads. Oh, I didn't pause. Colleen remembered to have me pause. Yep, you can pause for a minute. Colleen remembered to give you think time. To have me give you think time. So she's going to put this log between the lily pads. Okay, I'll remember next time. See where she put it, friends? She's right. Here's the lily pad. She put it between there. Now I'd like you to put the frog above the log. Let me pull these because we're going to use these too, so we don't have to keep, so we can go quicker. They don't have to watch. Nope. Nope. I want you to put the frog above the log. All right, friends, let's see where she does it. Good job. The frog above the log. Very, very nice. All right. Now I have these. These were our our frog eggs. I'd like you to put the frog eggs behind a lily pad. Don't do it yet. So the frog eggs behind a lily pad. Okay. Good job. Now I'm going to put these here so you have to listen to my directions too, okay? Now I'd like you to put the baby frog in front of the other lily pad. Ooh, that's a lot, friends. Ready, listen. The baby frog in front of the other lily pad. All right, so Colleen, I said the baby frog. So which of these are you going to pick? This one. Okay, she got that part right. The baby frog in front of the other lily pad. Good job. So here's our lily pad. We already did. This one's the other lily pad, and she put it in front of that. Good job. Colleen, now I'd like you to take the tadpole. Friends, it's the only one left, but you remember this was the tadpole? And I'd like you to put it next to the frog. So friends, put the tadpole next to the frog. Good job. Good job. She did that, friend. She put the tadpole next to the frog. It could have gone here. Oops, sorry. It could have gone, don't put it back up. It could have gone here or it could have gone there. Okay? So you can do fun direction following things with your grown up with those. Again, if you want to print them out, great. Yours are these that you could color. But if not, you can just do great direction following with drawing these things on a piece of paper. Give the directions to your grown-up, or the grown-up can give directions to you. So thanks for watching, friends. I'm going to try hard to find tadpoles. I'm not sure we're going to do well because we've hit the places we've known, but it would be fun if I could keep those and let you guys look at them and see the changes that the tadpoles go through. Too bad I don't see Mr. Mike. I hope you guys have a great week. Please tell your grown-ups if they have any questions to please email me or reach me through the Remind app. And I would love to see pictures or videos of you guys doing your work. Bye friends, miss you, have a great weekend.